It's another beautiful Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. I am Mariah Afolabi. Welcome. As always, I have the ladies in the building. Hey, ladies.
Hi, Mariah.
How was your weekend?
Fine, thank
You
you.
really need to change your cup.
Yes.
It's bad.
I will recognize myself again.
On the cup.
Anyways, how you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing good. The weekend was about just getting the kids ready. I just wanted to ask, when is the right time to put down your Christmas decorations?
Now.
Yeah, this weekend.
This weekend,
Yeah,
right?
This weekend I just passed.
So we shouldn't wait till Valentine's.
I don't even have one.
Yeah, I put one
Stress.
silly tree like that. That didn't look pretty, but we'll pull it down, hopefully. So good. How are you doing, Virginia?
I'm doing amazing and grateful. I thank God for life. On Saturday, my mother was 60 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we went to
Happy
celebrate
birthday.
with her.
Beautiful. Happy
It was
birthday,
beautiful.
Ma.
She looked so young and cute, and people were like, you look like your mom. You look like. I'm like, okay, seriously, do I? I used to say no.
That's a huge compliment because your mother looks beautiful and really young. for
Aged
60.
well.
I'm not seeing her pictures. I'm not seeing her.
She put it all over social media, which is good. I
Oh,
don't mind.
was on social
Celebrate
media?
her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so it was on
celebrated
Instagram.
her.
was
I've been
really
off
good.
my phone for like some days now.
I think it's good.
Taking
I
a break.
just took off that phone. I just
Yeah, I think it's good though.
Once in a
You'll
while,
be
we take a
calling
break.
me and I'm like, please, I'll call you back.
Thank you. This is January.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there's the condition.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the phone is away. How you doing,
Dr.
Tokwe?
Tokwe.
I'm very, everything for me, I'm very, very good. I'm extremely grateful to God. This weekend we had like strategic leadership meeting in church and all of those stuff, and I feel strongly when I was really young as a Christian, I gave my life Christ at 16, so I was really, really active, cell leader, I joined a star section leader, I was growing, and then marriage and pregnancy and
Like you
children.
didn't plan it.
And do you realize what happened? I just realized that I'm no longer actively involved in church for so long.
All of us are like that.
So this year, I'm going to be active in 2 units, and I've already filled the form for one. I'll get more involved in the other, but I feel that over time, God cannot bless you, and the blessing will not take you away from service to Him. So I'm going to
Preach
get back.
it, sister. I am the church. I'm
Mariah,
inactive since day one. How are you doing?
How was your
I'm
weekend?
fine. I'm
How was
fine.
Thanksgiving Sunday? Did you tag it?
Oh yeah, I did tag it. I want the same thing I wore on the anyways, I've been very busy. My house, I've had a full house.
Okay.
Seriously full house. So it's been really interesting. But it's nice. I actually like the
to have
fact
people
that
around. Yeah.
I like the idea that you have lots of people just walking around the place. Everybody.
I always like
So it's
it.
not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's interesting. So everybody's going today.
Oh,
Going back to start school. Grandma, everybody's leaving today and all that.
the kids
But I
are
think I
busy.
actually missed them because it was nice just having
Yeah.
that person at home.
I mean, my mom, when she was around for like the whole of December. My kids still miss her. They call her on the phone and talk to her,
Grandma,
for
when are
so
you
long.
coming
Yeah,
back?
when are you coming back and
That's so
everything.
cool.
Yes,
I'm
it's
used
good
to
to have
being
people
alone,
around.
so
Right, well.
I'm comfortable.
You'll be
Anyways,
fine.
it's Monday. Work has truly started now. Did you see traffic coming to work?
Yes.
The school on our streets
Yes.
has started. I mean, there was traffic everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys fared to work this morning, but hope you have a lovely day. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll try to understand the papers because we've not read it in a while, right? Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to start with the punch as usual. We'll protest if Inspector General remains in office after January 15th, opposition parties. Picture here, hoodlum set fire to houses, shops in Ibadan as police arrest 11. Family blames power firm as fallen wire electrocutes Lagos businesswoman. Oshimbajo in closed-door meeting with Awujale. Ebonyi, not part of Biafra, says Governor Umahi. Audio, disquiet in APC over alleged Amechi's anti-Buhari comments. Minimum wage NLC meets federal government again, says pensioners not excluded. INEC defends Zakari as Middle Belt Southern leaders, others demand her removal. Militants blow up corner facility in the Yelsa. So obviously, let's start with the human interest. What happened in this market?
Yeah, so
Okay.
The businesswoman.
Okolawon.
Okolawon.
Was electrocuted by a high-tension wire while she was going out to escort her friend who came to visit. So the wire sparked and fell on her, all her body, from her intestines were open. You could see her bone. She was rushed to the hospital. She was there battling and struggling for her life for 3 weeks. According to her mother, they spent over 2 million. The drug she was taking on a daily basis was like 50,000. They had done a couple of surgeries on her. So they are now blaming the Ikeja disco that they should have, if they had taken care of those, you know,
routine
maintained, yes, the
routine
wires, and the accident wouldn't have happened. So,
But she's still alive?
no, she's
passed.
dead. Yeah,
That's
she passed,
sad.
yeah.
So
This
the
story,
market.
who has a picture of the market? Yeah.
Yes, I do. So about 20 houses and
30
shops.
houses,
20
something.
houses and shops were burnt down in
Bere Molite.
Idi Arere Sakapena. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Sakapena.
area
Bere Molite area.
of Ibadan. And the attack was believed to be done by like cultists. So they got to this area around 2 a.m. They raided some of the shops and then set the place ablaze. So people are in tears, you know, because these are their businesses, their livelihoods have just gone away. But the police have been able to arrest at least 11 suspects. So we hope, you know, they can find some form
Really,
of
really,
compensation
really
for this.
I
don't know.
I really don't
Yes,
understand because
cultists.
yes, because within this area, the Olubadan was saying that they thought they had resolved the issues. Why would we hurt ourselves in such a way? It is not the government. People would go and hurt other people's businesses that like they are living their lives. You burn down the houses. Why would we do that to
Besides,
ourselves?
These
fights
people
have been
live
going
within
on.
the community, so you should fish them out, and you shouldn't even let them get to this point.
Let's move on to the
You know
nation.
them.
Osinbajo, Buhari needs new term to consolidate his feats. He's here talking to people in, I think, Oyo State. Transforcados pipeline firms state position. Row over INEC commissioners rages. That's Amina Zakari. Properties raised as hoodlums attack Ibadan community. Diazani, EFCC submits documents on extradition. Now let me read our Vice President's quote here. This coming election is for progress. We have already seen it. But if we are not cautious, we may be drawn back, but God forbid. The next level of change is to lift everyone from poverty and provide more infrastructural development. So he was there talking to market women about the trader money, asking them to understand that it's a government support for their businesses, and the richer people already have the market money, which is what is functional for them.
Yeah.
Do you have anything
So
to say?
Desiani.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Desiani.
An proper, well put together investigative report has been submitted to the Attorney General by EFCC, and also she's been put on the red alert watch list by Interpol. So they're just saying that they put everything together and she's on watch list, and they're trying to get her back home. Yes,
okay.
and to face.
Let's move on quickly now to Vanguard.
No.
We are waiting for presidency on retirement of Inspector General of Police. That's the PSC official. Confusion over pipeline bombing in Bayelsa. Masari PDB tango over insecurity in Castina. Outrage greets closure of Daily Trust office in Abuja and Borno. FG orders army to quit premises. Umahi accuses IPOB of threatening to kill 5 Southeast governors. 5 years of spreading luck. Everyone needs a help. That's Solile Lumelu. It's a pretty interesting topic. I think we should discuss it sometime this week. But let's talk about the Daily
IG
Trust
of-
story.
okay.
Oh, the Inspector General?
Yes, so there's a nationwide strike proposed by the opposition political parties that if the IG of police is not removed by the end of, on the 15th of January, that the strike will go on. Because according to them, they are saying that he's done 35 years in service,
retire,
which ended on the 3rd. So they are not supposed to see him wearing uniforms in the office from that.
No, the government, I totally agree with them.
Yeah, the government replied saying that he will leave from the 15th of January, so they should just...
I believe that in
And
government.
I think somebody was saying last week that the presidency has the right to actually extend
So
his
if he
retirement.
had, if he had the right,
not
he could.
anymore.
You know that people would come up against this. You know that his age was going to be 65. You would have given a notice
plan.
already that okay, he's supposed to leave by January 15 or January 3rd.
It would
We're
make
going to
sense
give him
if this was
extension.
done 2 years or 3 years after he was supposed to retire, not
2 years.
two weeks or 1 week after.
Please don't take the story of Daily
Please,
Trust. Okay.
It does not make sense.
We'll move on to New Telegraph. Soldiers invade Daily Trust, shot Abuja headquarters and offices. Picture here, Nigerians who will shape 2019 elections. Eating an egg daily cuts diabetic risk.
Yep.
Aso Rock Clinic gulps 9.17 billion in 4 years. I thought they said they didn't have Panadol there.
Yeah, there was
Okay, anyway, let's talk about the major headline.
Soldiers invaded Daily Trust office in Abuja. They have their office in Maiduguri and Abuja. Both were shut down. They arrested reporters. They tried to arrest the person that wrote the article. People are they're trying to claim that this is linked to an article written on Saturday.
They're not claiming. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
There was an article that was released on Sunday.
Yeah,
Front
on
page.
Sunday.
That wasn't the reason the military gave for the invasion. That's the reason, because I read according to what I read, that was what they believe caused the invasion. That they think it is the challenge that they broke a report on federal government is running out of excuses, breaking down the challenges going on, the fact that the military country military force that should be protecting the borders of Nigeria. We don't have Chadians there. We don't have.
Okay, I don't want to go into the details, but what the story I read actually was saying that what the article was releasing information, high level information that can actually jeopardize the security plans of our security services. That's pretty much so. They felt that you're giving Boko Haram exactly a strategy to invade them. If you do that, obviously it compromises their own efforts. So, and they shut down their headquarters, and we've not heard from Daily Trust. I don't think Daily Trust has actually responded to this.
But they've also taken, they couldn't get access to the writer of that article, one of the writers, but they got 2 people and they're going to get information.
So the story will continue, but we wanted to be sure that it wasn't an issue of gagging the press or trying to stop the press from actually releasing information. And we also need to discuss how much of information do we release. Yes, as journalists, you get information, but how much of that do you put out there?
So that's something we need to discuss. The Aso Rock issue. They said if they approve this year's budget, in the past 4 years, Aso Rock Clinic will have spent 10 billion on healthcare alone for the presidency, the vice president, family, and officers that work with them. And we know for a fact that our president hasn't gotten healthcare in Nigeria. Most of our public officials get healthcare outside Nigeria. The president's wife, Aisha Buhari, mentioned a few years back that they don't even have paracetamol within this same clinic that is getting so much money to fund so I think that there are many things we need to probe in Nigeria. That's even the problem. There are many things we need to probe. What are we going to probe again? Because right now,
let's move on to Lady Sun. Leak tape. Nigerians are hungry. Amechi, I'm not aware of any recording. Alleged blackmail. Ocean Marine Solutions State's position wants federal government to probe TFP mismanagement. Mayhem in Ibadan and Zamfara banditry linked to Boko Haram. So the major headline. Who has that story? The Amechi story.
The Amechi story. Okay, so according
our minister
to
of transportation,
who is the DG of the political campaign,
of the
campaign,
was allegedly recorded to be saying some things about the present administration, and says that, well, for what I heard, because I heard parts of the audio, and the voice, which is allegedly supposed to be the minister, saying that, you know, everybody's hungry, farmers, even politicians. At least that one I can categorize.
And 3 years of Buhari.
You know, and 3 years of Buhari.
There's no hope.
There's no change. And then also that to get any change, I'm quoting here, paraphrasing here, that people would have to be killed. You know, people normally say that, and people will have to be killed. And I think it's just
okay. So the Amechi himself has said that he's not aware of any recording, and we can. I don't know. Maybe forensic will prove that the voice is his voice,
or doctor,
and maybe they will bring out a video clip like we did in Gandola. But the things that were said are things Nigerians are feeling as a fact,
and we say all the time.
And we shouldn't be coming from a minister of the administration.
And not the DG
campaign that is campaigning for the presidency.
It is a hot topic on itself, but you know, we choose not to go there.
It wasn't supposed to be
We are awaiting confirmation.
Confirmation from the Amechi side. Yes. Okay, moving on now to Nigerian Tribune, if we can. Opposition parties to protest against IGP January 15th. If, obviously, we talked about that. Nothing else, no news stories here. Let's run off then. That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, the hottest topic over this weekend. In fact, there are lots of few hot things happening this weekend. But one of the ones that that might actually interest you is our honorable, distinguished senator. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So the sin caused by the Senator Melaye on Friday trended over the weekend for different reasons. According to reports, our distinguished senator opened the door of his residence on Friday afternoon and slumped to the floor in the presence of some of his colleagues and the Senate and other security operatives. Now, I would like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you believe that our senator was mistreated or maltreated, or do you think the security agency actually did their job? You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Now, the issue of politicians or leaders at some point being arrested and somewhat being maltreated, or maybe not, had been on for a while, because we saw in the case of former Governor Fayose, who also looked like he was almost harassed.
Before we get very serious, let me just on a lighter note.
Don't bring the lighter note. I want to establish what happened first. So the issue is, I don't want us to join the entire bandwagon on the comedy part of it, which is there. We can't run away from that. But the point is, we had former Governor Fayose who was treated by the police. This same senator was approached. His house was approached and was cordoned off for people, and we were asking him to come out. But unfortunately, he now came out a few days after, and we now see him slumping. So what happened exactly? So, in your view, do you think this is a maltreatment, or the security operatives were just simply doing their job?
Should I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that, in my opinion, they are just trying to humiliate him. Because till now, they haven't given us the facts of the case.
It's out there.
The facts of the case. He has been charged for culpable homicide, alleged culpable homicide. We don't know if he's the one that pulled the trigger.
He's not the one.
Exactly.
It's out there.
That's one. Secondly, you are not guilty until proven by a court of law. So why that siege in the first place, as far as I'm concerned, is unnecessary.
If you're a suspect, shouldn't they arrest you? Shouldn't you
That
have
siege
shouldn't you get a
wasn't necessary.
warrant?
They should have gotten a warrant.
Which I think they had.
They did. Yeah.
They didn't need to stay for 8 days. Break in and pick him. And
Which
arrest
you
him.
will still
That's
come and
one.
complain about that
So they
matter.
complained. No, they said they invited him over to the police several times, and he did not submit himself.
So, yeah.
How many times last year did they invite the IG of police to the National Assembly? Did he submit himself? So we make laws that we don't follow through. The rule of law we do not uphold.
Okay, let me.
So two wrongs make it right.
That's not the
for
point.
me, at the end of the day, every time a politician is seemingly alleged or about to be arrested, they fall sick. Then they will want to go and travel for medical checkup. Then they will faint, Olisametu. Then they will be crippled. Then they will be put on stretcher. Then they will have neck brace. We have seen all sorts of drama. For me, it's not maltreatment. For me, it is theatrics by our politicians who are trying to evade justice. Now, justice happens in every case. Why should politicians be treated differently? When people are arrested, when they are gathering people on the streets of Lagos, do they pay them respect? Do they say, oh, distinguished, we will bow your head before you enter inside the car? We don't do that. That's home video. So in real fact, what he experienced is mild as compared to what the everyday Nigerian experiences in the hands of our law enforcers. However, I feel that staying at the door, all that drama might be necessary because they want to bring him out. And if in doing that, they also made it clear that they had asked for him to come. I support the police officers on this anyway.
Okay. All right. So I just need to make clear, because you sort of, alluded to the fact that maybe the police were involved in harassing him. There was no physical contact with this particular senator. He opened the door and then he collapsed. It was his people that helped carry him into the car. So I was very happy about that, because usually you would see like maybe the police officers around him, and you can go and when that comes up, people say he was harassed, but this was nothing like that. The only problem that I had was when he got to the police station, he seemed to have been gasping, and his inhaler, but right there and then
he was stuck in the house for many days, Mariam. Of course, I mean, he didn't choose to be under house arrest. He was confined to that house. So
Mariah, do you know why he was in the house locked up? Nobody locked him in. He locked himself in. He did not come out. Come, we need to see you, and you didn't show up. You locked yourself in.
Okay. Let me take this call from Lawrence. Lawrence, thanks for calling. Hello, Lawrence.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Happy New Year. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my contribution about this issue is the issue of Dino Melaye. You know, in one breath, we want to run democracy and rule of law. In another breath, we want to apply sentiments. If this man has breached the law of the country and he was invited for questioning, why did he not answer that call? And now the police has power under the law of Nigeria that if you obtain a warrant of arrest and he reveals, they have power to break the door. Police dramatize on their own side. The problem of this government right from day one is their capacity to enforce the law of the country, to serve as a deterrent for other Nigeria. And if you are unable to enforce your law, these are the ripple effects we are having in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. But my question therefore is, if you have a warrant for somebody else, right? That's what I still don't understand.
Okay.
If I have a warrant for your address and you arrest and you lock yourself up, don't I have the right to break the door to
You
get
have
in?
the, that's my
pick
point.
you up.
So
we are waiting.
Why did we now wait 8 days for him
Exactly.
to
He came out
surrender
by
himself?
himself. We are waiting.
After waiting.
We don't know the kind of door he has, whatever it is that he could have done. We would await the IGP or whoever was in charge of that entire process to tell us why they didn't break the door and why they waited for him to come out by himself. Like Miriam emphasized, he was in a self-imposed lockup. Yes, in self-imposed. If he knew he needed medical attention, he could have gotten out to get it. There have not been cases where people are held incarcerated and they didn't get medical attention when they needed it. He could have faced the judgment, whatever it was coming to him.
So I have a problem with all the videos that I don't know whoever is putting out the videos, if it's the police or if it's his own people putting out. I have a strong feeling that his case is being politicized. Because this is a man that, let's not forget that he's asthmatic. So even if we say that our politicians, by the time you get them, they fall.
How do you know he's asthmatic?
Wait,
he's been using, we know now.
How do we know? I don't know.
He's been using inhalers for as long as I can remember.
I've never seen it.
Yes, and he's always saying it. He's always saying he's
Please leave her
asthmatic.
alone.
I did not know.
So he can be really sick. That's how we keep saying he's playing, he's doing theatrics, and he loses his life.
God forbid.
In this case, God forbid.
So you have to be careful, so you never know. Because Olisa fell ill eventually on this whole situation. Same with
Morayo. We've seen Dino Melaye countless times on Instagram. He likes drama. We've seen many drama is played out. So when you have cried wolf many times, the day you are now serious, people look at you
let me
and be
take
like...
this call from Akim. Akim, thanks for calling.
Good morning, Morayo.
Good morning, Akim. Go ahead, please.
Morning, Tope, Obiajulu, and Miriam.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, actually, you know, Senator Dino Melaye has always been an actor.
Thank you.
If Nigerian police had invited him, he has no reason not to honor that invitation. That is one. And now, for even locking himself up for that 8 days, let's say he's been taken to a court of law now, the judge will find it so very hard to even grant him a bail on self-recognition. Because he's a senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Why is he locking himself up? Why all the dramas? Senator Dino Melaye has always been like that. And we don't even need... Right. I'm very sorry, I don't think we need such people.
Thank you very much. She's running for another term. I was going to ask this question. I don't think you guys are the right people to answer this question, but when politicians do create this kind of scene, you know, what's the benefits? I mean, we've seen ex-Governor Fashe when he did his. What exactly was the benefit of that? Was there a political undertone for that? Is it to gather information or to gather proof of evidence of brutality, of police brutality? What exactly is the objective of doing these things?
That was where I wanted to go before the caller, this caller. First of all, with Dino, I want to say that
Senator Dino.
Sorry, distinguished senator, the distinguished senator Dino. He has done this quite often, and so I understand why the police took their time, you know, to just because a lot of people will come and say, oh, why did you go immediately to his house and break the door down? So I understand that. Also, what Dino, senator does,
Dino, don't worry.
What the senator, you know, how he's acted, for me, my personal opinion, just reminds me like when you're in traffic and you see these unruly bus drivers, and then they come with their unruliness and then they bash your car. Then they come down from their car and then they are on the floor, falling and rolling, and then when you insist on your right, like you must pay me for what you've done, people now look at you as the bad person.
person.
Meanwhile, you are. So that's what I see he's doing. He's trying to
enough.
take the attention off him and making the blame of the authorities. So that's what I see.
All right, unfortunately, do we have any tweets on this matter? Because, so right now, where exactly is our senator?
He's being held. He's still being
It's
held.
currently being held, and we'll see how. Well, obviously, we can't continue like this. So we need our senators, and actually, I think
We
more
need our senators
politicians.
to act distinguished.
Yes.
You know, they should respect themselves.
There's a reason they call them
Yes,
distinguished
respect
senator.
yourself. Respect yourself, and people will respect you. I think that's all that we expect from them.
And when you make laws,
follow.
uphold the rule of law. So as a security official that the National Assembly called on several occasions to answer, and you refuse to answer, somebody is doing the same thing to you, should not pay you.
Two wrongs don't make it right.
All right, let's go on a break. We just hope everything works out with Senator Dino Melaye. Let's go on a break. When we come back, this issue of Amina Zakari being appointed in INEC. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, Amina Zakari was appointed as the new INEC chief, and the story circulating is that she's a relative of the president. However, some Nigerians are reacting, while others feel it's no big deal. Others feel that appointing a relative is totally wrong. Joining us on the show is a lawyer and assistant secretary, Nigerian Bar Association, Ikorodu branch, Mr. Oluwaseun Aka. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome.
You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so this thing has been on since last week, and everybody has been talking about it. Everybody has been pitching in one or two things. But as a woman, I felt somewhat slighted because I felt that a woman was obviously being offered and was the opportunity to head the coalition arm of this group, and suddenly people are bringing up issues of sentiments or she's related to the president. In your view, do you think it was a worthwhile promotion, or do you think our government should have worn this moral cap, saying, listen, this might not be, yes, she might be qualified, but looking at the moral angle of it, the fact of the vested interest, do you think it was appropriate making her the chief of that unit?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. But before I address that, I would want to wish you Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And I also want to congratulate the station for the recent achievement, the award.
Thank you.
Now back to Amina Zakari. Yes, the woman was appointed INEC commissioner way back before this present administration.
Okay.
She was appointed by then President Goodluck Jonathan, and she has been with INEC that far doing her bit, and it's just of recent. In short, what this administration actually did was to reappoint her, because according to the law, you can spend the first 4 terms, the first 4 years, that's the first, and if possible, it can be renewed. So that's what this administration did. However, I think it was during the reappointment that people began to raise the issue of affinity or consanguinity with the president, and it raised a whole lot of dust. And I think after that, the present chairman was later reappointed, appointed. But coming to the recent development, she was appointed as the chairman of the Coalition Center, Coalition Center Committee. Now, the question we should ask ourselves is Amina Zakari, is she qualified to be on that board? Is it qualified to be a member, or is it qualified to be a commissioner? The question is yes. Is she a Nigerian? Yes. Is her appointment against any laws of our land, say the Constitution, say the INEC Act, or the electoral laws and the rest like that? No, legally speaking, no. But the issue is that we should also remember that elections are very, very sensitive anywhere in the world.
Good.
Let me give you a good example. most of the crises that we have in Africa, most of the conflicts we have in Africa, you'll discover that most of them stems from elections. Take a good example of Congo, Rwanda, and the rest like that we have. So when it comes to election, apart from looking way beyond the legal aspects, we should also consider other aspects that
Now,
might.
talking about considering that, I'll let you come in, Obiajulu, because my worry is that if we have a system in place, how can one human being single-handedly alter the collation of results across the country? I mean, is that possible? I mean, in Nigeria, anything is possible. That's not assume it's not. But the thing is that, is it possible one single individual? Because that's the fear, that because she's sharing that collation data, people will gather the results, and she just sits in her office one day and say, okay, these are the results. I'll be okay. Let me change it to
so this is
figure.
Nigeria.
So that's what people are thinking. How possible is that? But let me let Obiajulu jump in there.
Okay.
So this administration has been, over the years, accused of nepotism.
Sure.
Now, Nigeria is a plural state.
Sure.
And what we cannot afford now is to give the opposition something to talk about.
Sure.
We have to try as much as possible to be seen to be neutral and transparent.
Sure.
We're not in the political party.
Hold on, all of us. Seen to be neutral and, so don't you think this has got to do with the issue of credibility? Now I know that she has been appointed in the past administration, but this is, even if she has any form of ties, for the sake of this electoral process, these elections that is coming up, can't she step aside for that moment and then resume her position? Because nobody is saying they should take the job away from her. But because of the sensitivity of our nation, don't you think that is the right way to go about it?
Well, I would align myself with what you have just said now, but some days ago, I watched an interview, the one she granted to BBC, and she stated categorically clear that she's not in any way related to the president, that she is not the president's niece or she's not the president's sister and rest like that. But I also read a report that said Amina Zakari has, that I think there's an intermarriage between the, so to some extent, whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not, there is a level of relationship, connectivity, and rest like that. But then, like I said earlier, that election matters is a very sensitive matter. I, in the shoes of the INEC chairman, would have tried to be much
empathetic or
yes, because when we give room for suspicion, when we give room for issues like this, then the other parties will always have, even if, one funny thing is this, whenever there is likelihood of bias, she might not even be biased, but the likelihood is enough to have made the chairman of INEC to downplay her role for now.
Okay. I understand the sentiment, but I would like to know what is more important. Is it important if we find out, because I was just going through, I mean, this woman was chairman INEC Planning, Monitoring and Strategy Committee in 2014. You know, she worked with the Obasanjo government, I think 2004 to 2007. So obviously this is a woman who has done well in her career. So the reason why she was even seen to be recognized must be because, you know, she's proven herself to this point. So is it more important really where you're from or the relationship do you just put that, every achievement you've had, do you push that aside for, it's a question, do you put, let me finish it. So do you just put all that aside, you know, and just focus on the relationship? Let's say there are 4 or 5 options, or let's just say that she is the best among the best. But just because of that, do we take her out and put the second best or the third best?
So let me ask
in
you
the whole of Nigeria.
Nigeria also has over, the numbers are conflicting, 200 million Nigerians. So is she the only qualified person?
Okay. She just read the qualifications
exactly.
Within INEC.
Even within INEC.
So talk about the question.
I'm asking the question too.
So that's the question.
Is she the only one within INEC?
So talk about, you know, that question is just, I mean, it's just like me saying to you, all the 200 million Nigerians that you have just mentioned, do all of them have the qualifications in INEC that, no, we have people in different departments, in different sectors of the economy, and this is where she is, and with so many people. So we're asking, so that's where my question is. There could be first best, second best, third best, the most qualified, the least qualified, and she happens to be
already.
based on her.
I think he has answered already. No, I don't think so, because what she's saying is very valid.
Yes.
She's
talking about the
qualified.
merits.
Do I put the merit issue on the side?
He
And
answered
focus on the partisan.
in his introduction. Elections are very sensitive. We've had election
So you
violence in
went to
Nigeria.
school and heard all the
When we
experience,
have
don't you throw away your experience and say
Yes,
because
no,
I'm
there
positive.
there is a right time to do the right thing,
Background.
and there's a wrong time to do the right thing.
Sure.
So you can have the right thing done at the wrong time. It is still wrong. It must fit the right situation. So when you have any iota of relationship, the president confirmed that people are saying that he lived his early childhood in Amina Zakari's father's house. So you have relationship. Even, and I do not in any way want to cast aspersion on Amina Zakari's character. I believe that for her to have that track record of good work, she's qualified. But he in herself, knowing the sensitivity of election, should step back and say, I will decline from this position because I do not want anybody to use me as a reason to cast aspersion on the proper processes of this election. Can't we for once have leaders that would put beyond their personal interests? Can't we have people that will resign and say, I don't want to do this?
You know,
All right, let me let our guests come in. Let me let our guests come in.
Like what I was saying earlier on, elections anywhere in the world is very, very sensitive. Now, the former president, President Goodluck Jonathan, once said that his ambition, his re-election is not worth the blood of anybody during the 2014-2015. So that statement alone tells you the kind of a leader he is. Now, if your professionalism, your being, that you merit the position, assuming but not considering that she's the best that can fit in, but then the effect, the ripple effect on the other side, if anything happens, let's even assume that she is not in any way biased. Let's even assume that she's not even in good tune with the president, or let's assume that she has an issue to settle with the president. An average man that walks on the street, an average woman on the street would not believe
so are we throwing away objectivity aside? We're throwing away objectivity. What we are saying
is this: when you bring them aside, when you try to juxtapose, one is more weightier than the other.
Okay, we'll go on a break on that. Let's go. When we come back, we'll take some calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Obiajali had a question.
Yes, so I believe that a leader is like a father or a mother, as the case may be, who tries to put the household together. So you don't have 7 children and you continually send one person give one person a particular task. You give room for other people to grow, other of your children to grow. Now, we remember in the past administration, former President Jonathan appointed Jega, a northerner, to head that, to be in that position. So even if he was re-elected, nobody would have said that something was fishy along the line. Now we have how many, what's it called? We're so many tribes in the country. We have different languages, and naturally we are not even united. So why don't you, for the sake of the peculiarity of the nation, okay, let her step aside for a bit, even if she's the most qualified in the country for now.
Going to former President Jonathan, he was accused also of some type of nepotism because he was appointing most of his kinsmen. NNPC, all the big, the juiciest part of the ministry. We're going to say people within his own geopolitical zone. So all the leaders actually have had these kind of issues. But let me take this call. Morning, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Morning, go ahead, please.
Hello.
We can hear you, you're live.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I only want to say that this appointment of the lady we are talking about, okay, if you look at it, the appointment, is the appointment done with arm's length? No. Understand? The appointment is not done in arm's length. Whether we like it or not, that lady is related to the president.
Yes.
It's just like you being a judge in your own case. You cannot stand firmly to say that your stepsister's child, understand, did not take a meat from the pot if you are made a judge. That lady is a relation to the president. She is qualified, yes, but in arm's length, she does not have any business in that sense.
All right,
We
thank you
remember
very much.
Pat Naji, who was a board, he resigned as a board of a power.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay, yes, I just also wanted to make this point. The head of the election collation center for INEC 2019 election is what she's been made the chairman of that. And what I read, that it means that she's not directly involved with the votes, or it's just to make sure that the smooth running of that department. So she's not directly there, as Maria first mentioned, she's not sitting down there counting votes and everything. So it's just to make sure that everything is running well.
She would announce, right?
No, she's not she's not the INEC chairman now.
No, that she, like the bulk of the signature, the last.
This is what they said. They said she's not involved in all that.
Just
to make sure to oversee. That is what her duty will be. And so now knowing exactly what her duty will be, how is it then a conflict of interest? Okay. If that she's not involved, what we're afraid of is that she might be there trying to count things. So what do you think?
Well, let me make this clear. The only person that is allowed to announce winners of any election is the chief electoral officer. And in this case, since we are talking of the presidential election, then that will be the INEC chairman himself. Okay. And that was the same thing the last INEC chairman did, that's Professor Jaga. Like I said something about the interview she gave BBC the last time. She said our bit was just to ensure that the venue of the collation center is okay, the organization and the rest like that. But then, even at that, I read another report that says she would be involved in the collation. But there is something, the reason why people are raising eyebrow on this is that this is Nigeria, and in some other climes we know that elections, the counting of the election, collation of the election is about the most important. Is about the shot. There's a saying that the one that counts what counts in election is those that count.
Okay, let me take this call from Port Harcourt. Tolu, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I think we need to be careful so that we don't get dragged into what is not necessary. Okay. The premise of the accusation by the PDP spokesperson was that she was going to be in charge of announcing results, and she would announce what she wants. And that's what got people mad. If the guy had gone there and stated the case as it were, that her role was just to handle the logistics of that center, people wouldn't have been so angry. And they've now come with this relationship stuff. So I believe that even if Amina is dropped at this time, you will find out that somebody else will pick up something to destabilize the election. The police, there's still a decision on the police that hasn't landed yet. Something else will pop up. So we need to be careful.
Right. Thank you very much, Tolu. Let's take some tweets.
Yes. Next level says, I think Zakari is just the collation center chairperson, not the collation officer. Her function is to oversee the smooth operation of the center. The INEC chairman is the collation officer. She has nothing to do with the results. Segedi says, election is very sensitive anywhere in the world. Have you ever asked why doctors were never allowed to carry out surgeries on their relations just because of the sensitivity?
Okay, Professor Yasheye says, we are always missing the point in Nigeria. For the record, Hamina Zakari already paid her allegiance to the president, calling him her leader. Isn't she supposed to be partisan? No. Babyface says, honestly, this issue is overflogged. I think media house needs to talk less on it. Amina has said she's not related to the president. The question we should be bothered about is she qualified? We are the people who are making issues out of no issue.
It says that, Alex says, it appears that the opposition has stolen our conscience in this country because everything said about this Amina Zakari is still insinuation without concrete evidence to prove otherwise. However, we should not forget that politicians will always be politicians.
Okay, so to wrap up this conversation, okay, let me take one more call. Abubakar, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. As the recent caller said, the Amina Road is what we are going to consider. What is her role in the collection center? Her role is only to administer or to manage the center, not to announcing the results. So I don't know why people are worrying themselves about this issue. It's not something to worry ourselves.
Okay.
Her role is only to manage the center, not to announce the results.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we can put a lid on this because everybody seems to agree that she's not going to be the one counting. She's just the logistics of the center.
I want Nigerians to believe in the process. I want Nigerians not to go and fight for this process, except just to cast your vote and watch it being counted. I also want our leaders to make us believe them, make it easier to believe them by putting everything in a way that nobody can point a finger at you. That way, it will be a win-win for everybody.
Let me let you have the final words.
You know, in elections, like I said, the other a party who feels is not having the upper hand will always like to cling to something. So the best thing is to do is to not to make available such points for them to cling on.
So true. All right. So unfortunately, we have to round up. But I think what we need to leave with is don't let any politician distract us from the real issues.
Sure.
We are focused on who we want to bring in. Let the electorate leave all the front pages of the newspapers with all the drama that is going on and focus on the qualities of the leaders we want. Let's be sure, because if you are distracted by these things, you will never really get to our promised land. So let our people know that, yes, hopefully, Hamina Zakari, I don't know if they're going to the federal government is going to reconsider her appointment, but for now, she's still in charge of the coalition. All right, that's all we can take on today's show. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Tomorrow is another day, and Wednesday is our live audience. Please come early so you can get a seat. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.